Dave, first, just Caleb Ferguson is back. What have you seen from him, and what's the expectation from the bullpen?
Well, the expectation is he's going to pitch tonight. As far as kind of he's been on a rehab assignment, and just to recall him, just of need, and we'll see where it takes us. It's a fresh arm. We certainly trust him, and expect him to go out there and pitch well tonight.
When you look at just today's game, you have a doubleheader tomorrow. Are there any certain keys with managing the bullpen, or even just the starters, when you kind of have to have consideration for what tomorrow looks like?
It's going to be interesting, a little kind of roster or bullpen gymnastics, but if you look at our high leverage guys, I like where we're at given the last series. So I think that we're in a good spot for this 4-game series with the doubleheader looming. But it all comes down to pitching. Tony's going to start tonight, and hopefully he can, take the load off some of the guys in the pen today.
You talked about a sense of urgency yesterday. We saw you guys get the big win late in the game there. Is it the same feeling with facing in-division team, the Diamondbacks that got you last time? Does it feel like there's still that kind of I don't know if revenge is the right word, but just feeling to kind of fight back against
There is. We haven't faced Madison Bumgarner in a couple years. It's been a while. But he's having obviously a great year and a heck of a pitcher. He's given us fits over the past years. So we have our work cut out. The game doesn't feel sorry for you, so we got our work cut out for us with the Diamondbacks, team that took a series from us in Arizona. So we got to play good baseball. We got to take good at bats. He's not going to walk many guys, and keep the ball off the ground, and pitch well and play good defense.
Is Caleb able to go back-to-back if needed to for the doubleheader tomorrow?
He is. Yep, absolutely.
You feel like his command is in a better spot than a couple weeks ago?
I think so. That's one of the things that when you're on a rehab program, one part of it is trying to get healthy and show you're healthy, but then the other part, as you get closer to the end, you got to perform and get guys out. So the last couple outings have been considerably better, and I think right now he's in a good spot mentally and physically.
And David Price is here. What's kind of the
He's on the taxi, and a potential activation tomorrow is most likely.
Dave, I know it's just one more win in terms of the standings yesterday, but to get that against the Phillies, considering how much different it could feel going in this against Arizona, and especially with that big road trip looming, it has to have some extra weight to it.
It does. I mean, that's a 2-game swing. It's the first game that we come back after being down in the 6th inning. So to get a come-from-behind victory, to go from losing 4, then to salving a series, and now going into this series right here, it was a big win. So I think the guys are still feeling pretty good about that one.
Do you have a second starter for tomorrow besides Anderson?
We don't. Obviously I think the names that are involved. So right now, Tyler will start the second game, and we haven't named that first one yet.
You haven't used an opener yet this season. Is that by design, or just happens to be the way it lined up against the opponents?
I think it's sort of by design and the way it's lined up by opponents, because I think that now this year teams are more apt to not have one set lineup, so it takes away a little bit of the opener effect.
Are you guys kind of an anomaly in that same 3 guys? 1, 2, 3.
We're sort of an anomaly, yeah.
Dave, Max, Cody, I think Gavin too, practicing at bunting with you there. Is that more of a slump buster thing? You guys thinking about that, or is that you guys are one of 5 teams that takes about a sacrifice plan all year? Are you guys going to start doing things a little differently?
I don't think it's I don't see more sacrifice bunts in the future. I think it's just trying to add another tool in our toolbox. Obviously, with the shift and those 3 guys in particular, after a strike, they're giving away the left side of the diamond, and so for us to practice that and for these guys to have some confidence, just gives them another club in their bag, and it's on us to go out there and practice it, but I certainly think it's going to add some hits to it.
You mentioned
you talk a lot about buy-in. Does it take those guys buying in a little bit?
It does. It does, and to their credit, each guy understands what's going to make them a better baseball player and help us win more baseball games. So they're in the box, it's their at bats, but it's still a team at bat, and so they understand that they're smart players, talented, and my encouragement is that they're just not one-dimensional ball players. And so how do you do that? You've got to take what the defense gives you at times.
Does it help that Bryce Harper does it after hitting a 3-run home run, and them seeing that?
I think so. You know, when you're talking about your peers and the current MVP doing that, so there's nothing shameful about, you know, bunting for a base hit. You know, it's actually more commendable that you have that ability, and you can kind of put your ego aside and, you know, be a complete ball player.
Taking what defense gives you, that's one of the benefits of having Freddie around, some of that all-field approach that he has. How have you sort of seen that sort of translate to the rest of the lineup?
I think that there's more intent to do that. He's still got a 900 OPS, and he's going to slug more, but, you know, while he's kind of getting his footing, he's still taking walks, getting on base, doesn't give an at bat away. I've never seen a guy like this. And he can also control the barrel and hit to all field. So it allows you to hit right-handed pitching, left-handed pitching, and there's a reason why he's an MVP.
As far as the scouting report on Baumgartner, you mentioned you guys haven't seen him for a little bit of time. He's not the same guy that pitched for the Giants, but he can still have a good night. Anything different when you go up for at-bats this time around, maybe a couple years ago?
It's cutter heavy. It's a curveball in there. There's a fastball. There's a changeup to right, but it's cutter. It's cutter to the to both sides of the plate, and you've got to. He doesn't give in. He will walk you and nibble if you let him, but he kind of feasts on guys that expand. But he can throw a strike when he needs to, and he's crafty, and he's still performing really well.
Dave, did Clayton play catch today at all? Do you know anything?
He's going to be out there 4:30.
Got it. And David Price, I talked to him a little bit before the game. He seemed a little bit, frustrated in the dark as to what his role would be, coming back. Do you have those kinds of conversations with him?
No, I think that, David's been down for, it's going to be close to 3 weeks. So, to take down 2 innings, I think is a tall ask. So I think it's just going to be, getting his feet back under him and pitching, and I feel he can get lefties and righties out, and he'll be ready, whatever situation comes upon.
Do you have a sense of how he's feeling at all?
I assume he's feeling well because he's thrown a couple bullpens, he's thrown alive, so everything I've heard, he's in a good spot.
Andrew Heaney said he's throwing a pen tomorrow. How encouraging is it to just see him making that kind of progress?
It's really good. Andrew's bought in completely, and he's been throwing the baseball really well. Even his side sessions and his catch play has been kind of 86, 87, so I'm really curious to see how it is when he gets on the mound tomorrow.
Is that his first pen, or right? Because wasn't he scheduled to have one on the road?
Yeah, it'll be his first pen tomorrow.
Hey Dave, I know the ball's been flying a little bit more recently, but when it wasn't for most of the season, did you see guys changing their swings, changing their approaches at all, or had it not really gotten to that point yet?
I think around baseball, guys were more frustrated early, and then just recently I saw a little bit more of a flat path, line drive approach. But now ball's flying a little bit more, but I hope our guys continue to have that line drive approach because line drives always play.
Do you have an issue necessarily with the balls being deadened, or with the fact that you guys weren't told that they were going to be deadened?
I think it's just more of, guys just want to know what they're dealing with, the transparency. So, whether it's a rule change or, a different ball, to know what you're playing with, I think is the main thing that guys were concerned about.
Do you think it's a concern now that the balls are changing again?
I think guys sort of expected it, and I think the hitters like it and the pitchers maybe not so much.
Shoe game strong.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys.